Okay, hello, and welcome to Artistic Consultant Experience. I'm so glad to be back once again. I'm trying to do these videos now. I'm trying to do them at least once a week, right? At 2 o'clock. I know that's not like the best time to kind of offer these videos, but the wonderful thing about videos is that you can always, restart them and all that kind of good stuff and stop them and all that. So I just want to I try to keep my word right on the things that I promise. So welcome once again. If you are a subscriber, thank you for subscribing. If you're getting, the spiel, if you're getting anything out of these videos, okay, then subscribe if you're not a subscriber and like and comment. I mean, I see people watching. I know you're out there watching them. So don't be stingy with the love. Don't be stingy with the show of support. I need that. I need encouragement. Like, I'm here to encourage you. I would like the encouragement in return. That would be just awesome. But um, I also have a big self-esteem thing going on. So, I mean, if you don't show me any love, I love myself. Okay, enough to keep pushing and continue to put these videos out. So the there's so much I want to really talk about, man, and that's why I kind of like in the beginning I liked putting out more videos, you know, back to back because I have so much stuff to talk about. And um, well, let's see, where do I start? Well, actually, you know what? This video is more about my ebook that's coming out as well. And you really, the more I read my own material, I'm like, yeah, that's good. you know, now it's like I had to ask myself, like the yesterday when I was working on it. I'm just about done with it. It's just I'm having some problems putting some certain pages in and stuff like that. Anyway, technical stuff. But I was reading over it in editing and all that as best I can, right? Because I'm doing this myself and I'm publishing the book myself and all this kind of good stuff, at least as much as I can do. Okay, just this first run. So this is my first ebook. I've written an ebook before some years back when I was really um, doing uh, blogs and stuff on LinkedIn, but um, yeah, it. Wow. I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway, I just put that out there. Okay. Uh, I, the book is about, and as well as this video, we're going to talk more about the mind, right? And the power of the mind. I really don't think a lot of times, a lot of us understand that. I don't think that, I don't see a lot of us understanding um, the power that we all have, right? And especially if we are whatever sound is and stuff like that. A lot of this stuff, by the way, I'm gonna put some things that I may say. I'm gonna put them down in the description area, so make sure you check that out as well. Anyway, yeah, um, I'm sharing a lot of personal experiences in my life, right? It's like, okay, I'm in my 50s, so of course I've had a lot of experience, okay? And I've been doing as I've been working as a professional visual artist um, for many years, and as well as social media marketing and promotion. I've been into it for the last like 9, 10 years, right? When it kind of first started bubbling up. And and I mean, I really noticed that people are not taking it serious uh, about what's really going on. Things are not going to go back to what they once were as we have known it. Get it? We have to understand that they're just not. And and so as an artist, I realized, okay, This means that the galleries, the walk-in galleries, vanity galleries, whatever, the exhibits and stuff like that, the events, the outside festivals and stuff like that, that artists could actually make some money. Those things are not available. They're not going to come back. Okay. And the reason why that they're not going to actually come back that way is because these venues are now going online, right? And they have apps and all this kind of stuff, and they're building, their stores and their galleries online. So are individual artists as well. So um, those of us who just refuse to take note of that and start action, you're going to be so lost. And that's a big part of the reason why I'm here to assist other artists and artistic venues to get out there and learn the tools of social media platforms and channels. Like right now, I'm learning about YouTube as I, create these videos. And there's a lot to learn. Phew, you know. And then you have Facebook that changes its algorithms and all this kind of stuff all the time. So does YouTube. They just change up, and you have to stay abreast of what they're doing. So if you don't make time to do that, or you don't have a resource like myself that you can come to and kind of see where you are and what you need to do and how to do it and get value out of it, then it's just really sad. So that in itself has a lot to do with in the way in which we're thinking. A lot of us are yet thinking today. Now, it's not so much about the younger folk. I mean, the younger folk, they know because they were born into this tech world that we're in. Um, they just. I mean, I have a granddaughter. I have 5 grandchildren, and they all are into this stuff. They know how to use computers and all that stuff and iPods and whatnot, and they can tell me a few things, indeed. And my youngest is 5 years old, and OMG, I mean, she's like, get out the way. you know what I mean? I'm like, really? Okay. So, um, yeah, we have to understand that these things are not going back. They're just going to move forward. Okay. Now, the other thing, oh, real quick too, if you're familiar with Damon John from the Shark Tank, well, he is my mentor, and um, oh my goodness, he's he's created this business course, and it's really for anybody that wants to, or that is in business or starting a business. I mean, I highly recommend that if you haven't checked him out recently, he's got a video out. Look it up, Damon, Damon John, and I don't know if they're still offering an intro to his free course, business course. And yeah, I mean, the whole course is expensive, but it's worth it. If you could afford it and you can afford to put the time in it, it is totally worth it, because just the intro that I had, I mean, I got filled up. I mean, I really did. I was like, man, I had to check. I had to check my bank balance to make sure, that they didn't take any more money out, because I'm like, okay, because it's like part of the trial, free trial course, right? And but you did have to give up a little change in the beginning to access some other great stuff that they're giving away practically right now. And I know it's a ploy to get people interested, but it's a good one, and it works. And I'm telling you, look that video up. Okay. If you're interested in learning pretty much the ins and outs from start to just about finishing, right? And um, it's just something that you really need to, you got to get in there. If you can get in there, if they're still offering it, I highly suggest that you take advantage of it. And yes, by the way, it is aimed at predominantly people of color, and I know why that is. Um, Even though it's not limited to people of color, but it is aimed at people of color. I don't know if you have seen any of these articles in regards to, excuse me, they're saying that there's not enough Black people, people of color in business today, which is so true. And there are reasons for it. It's not because people of color are lazy. It's not because they're stupid. It's not, it's none of those derogatory things that people tend to just throw out. But it has to do, like one of the articles I was reading from the military.com. Um, it's it's like when there's money to be allocated in the communities of I want to say non-white. Okay, I don't know if that's politically correct right now. I don't really care. I'm not really into the race thing, because I found that that was something created by a man as well, for division and all of that. So I'm not really into that. But for description's sake, okay, we're just gonna say it like people of color or non-white. When monies are available in the bank institutions that are within their community, right? They take that money and they will give it to, basically they'll give it to a white person. If the white person comes in and they need the money, they'll give it to them, and they may not even have a business proposal. They may not even, their business proposal may not even be as great as the one who comes in of color. But because of all these, the yet prejudice and the biases and all of this, it's it is what it is, and it has become what it's become. So this is part of the reason why Damon John in the hosts of his course, and also his online, he has an online website. I don't know why that went, but anyway, he has an online website. He also has a Facebook page and stuff like that. I don't know if you have to actually make that payment to take access to all of this stuff. I know I did. I mean, it was really under $20. It's so worth it. I mean, they give out a slew of info and connections and helps you to network with other businesses. They also are giving out grants to businesses as well. They're giving out buku money right now, um, and they give you access to how to, go about getting that money. So anyway, yeah, check it out. Check him out right now. Right now is the time. Right now is the time actually to just be in business. I mean, believe it or not, this is a really good time to promote your products and your services or whatever online. This is a great opportunity right now because it's like it's on. If I had a bar to show the stats, but say like right now it's like this, right? Say the bar is up here, right? Right now it's like this, right? So there's still all of this other opportunity left, right? Before it begins to get crowded in there. All right. Uh, what else? Okay. So back to my book. Where my book is more about the process to what do I always say? How to reach your perspective of success. There is a process. Nothing happens overnight. I don't care how we've all heard that saying, it's overnight sensation or whatever, stardom. No, no. The truth is that these people have, whoever those people are, that overnight success thing, those people most likely have been at it over and over and over again, over the years or whatever. They've actually been planting the seeds, and nesting and all of this kind of stuff. So, and then one day, a break happens, right? And it's usually a big break, but believe me, those people have put in time, they put in effort, they put in vision, they put in thought, and all of that. And so, and then one day it happens for them. It's not about luck. It's not about luck. Now, I believe in blessings. I believe in blessings. Okay. Um, for lack of a better name, I guess, but I do believe in blessings. Yes, I do. Now, luck, I don't. I see them as two different things, right? Um, Now, in my book, I talk about the first step, and that is the decluttering, right, of the mind. Okay. It's important that we get all of that BS. I'm just going to put it out there. It's BS. We need to be able to get all that stuff out, and we have to be able to put things in its rightful perspective, right? And a lot of us are are stuck because we've not taken the time out to learn ourselves. We don't take self evaluations. And if we do take self evaluations, if we don't like what arrives derives from them, then we tend to push it aside and like, that ain't me. I'm not paying attention to that. Next. But usually that thing that we don't want to acknowledge is usually the thing that's stopping us from going forward. And it's hard to focus on anything, okay, when other things are distracting and moving around. You can't hit a moving target, right? And you can't establish anything that you're not focused on establishing. We may say that we are focused, but when we sit down and really take the self evaluation, which I have in my ebook, it's about 22 questions, right? And a lot of times we don't want to do the homework, but that's part of the homework. Part of the homework is us sitting down and finding out who we are inside out, right? We don't want to rely on other people telling us who we are. This is how we end up getting stuck in the first place, because we take in all of this these other thoughts of from other people, be it our parents or whoever, teachers, whomever, authoritative figures and stuff, and we take that and we say, okay, this is who I am, but we never really look at that and challenge that. And I guess you would say, well, why should we challenge that? Well, you ought to challenge that because if you find that you're not moving forward in life, it's not it's not because of anybody else. 9 times out of 10, it isn't. 10 times out of 10 is you. It's ourselves. It's us. We are not holding ourselves accountable or responsible for the things that we get out of life or where we are right now. We're not holding ourselves accountable and responsible for it. We're just saying, okay, we sit back kind of and let things unfold. And okay, it's just life. Life happens. Yeah, sure, life happens, but um, we can kind of we got more control over what happens in our lives than not, right? There are mishaps, happens to everybody. Unfortunate events happens to everybody. Okay. Love happens hopefully to everybody at least once in their lifetime, right? So it's sort of like, well, okay, um, let's take love for instance. Um, I can love you, which I do. I can love you, right? Um, but there are different types of love, right? And so say for instance you and I hook up, right? And or I didn't mean for it to fall in love with you. I didn't mean for that to happen, but it happened because we can't control who we fall in love with. We cannot control that. Try it and think about it. You can't. But what we can control is how we work with that love. What do we do about that love? That we have control over, right? And so it's the same thing in a similar sense um, about the events that happen in our life, be them bad, good, or indifferent, whatever. You know, we have um, the control over how we deal with that, right? And then we don't sometimes take into consideration our thoughts, right? Because there are thousands of thoughts, right, that's going through our head. I don't know if it's every second, every minute, or something like that, but we have thousands of them. Now, if your brain wants to stop on one, but that's not where you want to get stuck there, right? You have the right to change your channel. I think it was Joyce Myers when I used to listen to her years ago, and she would talk about the stinking thinking, you know, and it's like, yeah, but we have the choice if whether or not we want to keep our minds there, and we can decide to change that channel and think on something else, right, that's more prevalent or relevant or whatever. um, and that's when we are trying to go into business or even academic careers, whatever. Okay, do you really think about it, like, what's your why? What is the reason behind your next step? You think about what's the reason, why am I in the situation that I'm in, right? And then if you find yourself um, shifting blame and when you begin to think about your current situation, well, consider the part you played, right? Consider what did you do or did not do, all right, about where you are. Because 9 times out of 10, once again, you played a part in wherever you find yourself today. And especially as, well, even as a kid, I mean, even as a kid, even though a lot of times our decisions may be innocent, whatever, but yet in all, you played a part as that kid, to get yourself into whatever predicament that you find yourself at that time. So if you end up on punishment or something, you did it to yourself because you shouldn't have done what you did. So that's a learning experience. So now what are you going to do with that learning experience, right? What are you going to do with that? How are you going to um, make your experiences in life valuable towards reaching your perspective of success? So that takes thinking. You have to think about this kind of stuff, and a lot of times we don't, because we get on robot, right? We just find ourselves going through the motion, to keep a roof over our heads or to find one, to eat and to clothe ourselves and whomever else we're taking care of, right? And so all of a sudden, and especially with this pandemic, this thing here is so serious on so many levels, right? And right now is the time to work on getting your mind in a place of peace and harmony Right now is the freaking time. If it ain't never been a time in life, this is it, it is now to start working on your mental state, because um, it is your mind that breathes into your, how can I put this? Let's put it like this. Your creative self, you cannot be as creative as you really are if you're bogged down with all these haunting voices within yourself. You just can't. You can try to smash them down and ignore them and flag them away and hope that they'll go away and all of that, but they keep coming back. You know, it's the worst nightmare, being awoke ever. And they actually come when you're trying to do something. Whenever you're trying to step outside of contentment or your box, anytime that we're trying to do that for the betterment, all of a sudden these freaking voices come back in your freaking head telling you you're not this, you're not going to make it. Who do you think you are? Such and such tried it, it didn't work for them. Such and such said, this, that, and the third about you. Your hair ain't right, your color ain't right, your shape ain't right, you'll never make it. Okay. All these like really derogatory, negative things. And so words are energy, right? When we speak them out, they begin to form our world. And a lot of times we're not conscious of that. We don't take conscious. And I guess I'm so passionate about it because I discovered it for myself after. It's not that I hadn't heard it before. It was just I began to see where I was being stuck. I began to really be honest with myself, like I'm not really moving. you know it's it I mean, and if I'm moving, it's so freaking slow till uh, I mean, I need a micro to see it or something, I don't know, but it ain't happening. And and so I started reading these, I guess you would say, self-help books. I've read Think and Grow Rich a few times, but it never, the things in it never stuck with me really. When I read it the first few times, and I was in my 20s and stuff, and it never really stuck with me. But now that I'm an older woman, um, and I have time now too. That is in my favor, having time, because my children are adults and stuff, and my grandchildren, they're all in a different state and everything. So I don't have um, that beautiful, fortunate opportunity that they could be dropped off, and just left with me and all that kind of stuff. So I really have a lot of time on my hands in regards to that, reading and stuff like that. But now they have these books on audio, right? And in my ebook, I'm posting. I have a list in there. Um, uh, what did I do with it? It's a playlist, actually. I have a list as well as a playlist. My YouTube channel, I have a lot of those if you check them out, but um, this particular playlist is going to be called, what did I say I was going to call it? Great Mentors. I'm going to name the playlist. And it's going to have all of these great books, right? And now like I said, they're on audio. And so some of them are like 8 hours long, but like I said, you can always hit that pause button and go do other stuff. But the point is that these books are very encouraging, how to think positive, and or the power of positive thinking, and there, the 21 laws of leadership and things like that. These books are awesome. They really are. And like I said, maybe because I'm older now, I'm able to really appreciate them. But the younger, the younger um, you can start reading these books, indulging yourself in these books, the better, right? It really is. And so I highly suggest too that you start getting into these particular types of books, so that when you start to hear these things, you know, they begin to make sense, like affirmations and one thing that another thing, should I say, that I begin to understand and realize is the importance of affirmations, why they work and why they don't work for some, you know, and the reason why certain, well, for some people, affirmations don't work, or like when you do, what do you call it? Your your um your board, your vision board. I'm sitting here looking at my vision board. I look at it every day. Um, well, before I jump off into all of that, the reason why it doesn't work for some and it works for others is because we don't say what's true to for us. It's so personal. Affirmations are very personal, and it's like that subconscious thing happening at the same time when you're talking, when you're speaking your affirmations. You are trying to um, get your subconsciousness to receive it so that you can visualize it and you can start speaking these things out as well as visualizing it. And I know this stuff works. It may seem spooky or whatever, but it really works when you apply it. Just like any knowledge works when you apply it. It's knowledge is only powerful when we apply it. Okay, other than that, it's just a bunch of words stuck somewhere. So anyway, so what I found is, okay, um, I'm going to try. I'm going to try it this way. I'm going to write down the things that I really feel is true about me. So one thing I really believe is true about me is that money flows to me, right? And the reason why I believe that to be true, because as a kid, even as an adult, it's interesting, as a kid, just people would just like come up to me, my mom is there or whatever, and they'll be like, oh, she's so cute, and they'll pull out, the 50, the little half a dollar, or they'll give me a dollar or something like that, or some change or whatever, and they're like, put it in your purse. So I would always kind of like keep money, a little change or something like that, um, which is cool. And even as an adult, I mean, people have just kind of like, well, what do you need? Here, here's a check, or they'll give me a couple hundreds, and it's like, what? Thank you. I wish it happened more frequently today too, but I'm not out there as much as I used to be either. But so I made that part of my affirmation, because it's true for me. It is true for me. And the other is health, right? And praise the Most High. I've always been healthy, and I'm so grateful and thankful for that. I'm very, very, very grateful to the Most High for that. So I say that as an affirmation, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I'm not wealthy yet, but I'm getting there. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. I'll reach it before he takes me. So, but I'm wealthy in so many other ways. I truly am. I'm wealthy from the perspective of being able to assist so many people in my life, through my talent and ability that he has blessed me with, that the Most has blessed me with. So I'm wealthy in that way, and I'm very appreciative to him for that. And that's the other thing about affirmations. You have to be grateful. Once again, this may sound like some hogwash and whatnot, but I talk about it in my ebook as well. Gratitude is so important. Um, if you don't do nothing else, if you can wake up in the morning, if you've with a sound mind and you're able to wash your own behind and clean up your place, and you're able, just the small things that we tend to kind of take for granted, right? I mean, these are the things that you want to consider, okay, every day. This is not a once in a while type of thing. You get up and you literally, you are grateful for whatever it is. And you got to move your mind from all of the negative things, positive things in situation. I get it doesn't matter what the situation is. There's something positive in that situation. There's a there I don't care. There is a silver lining, okay, over that dark cloud. Okay. It's up to you to find out what that is for you, right? Um and then speaking of that, the other thing I find to be real interesting is how we've always been told what to think. And I don't know, if you watch my videos, any of my earlier videos too, I probably mentioned this before. Some of these things I probably reiterate often because they are true. They resonate true for me. And hopefully they will for you too. But we're just told, what to think. We're not told, we're not shown how to think. Okay. And so that becomes a problem as we age, as we experience things out here. It becomes a issue, a mental issue for a lot of us because we don't know how to think our way out. We don't know how to be creative. We don't know how to be creative in our business. We don't know how to be creative in the bedroom. We don't know how to be creative with our children. It's just the truth. So, but when we're not willing to examine who we currently are, and be honest about what we see and what we know about ourselves, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, is hard to be successful in any other area of life. It just is. It's something that we have to sit and really think about if that doesn't resonate to be true with you. It it's like when we sit and do that, we are also, once again, taking that accountability and responsibility for ourselves, right? And that's the area where a lot of us, we just don't want to go. We just don't want to go. We do not want, we don't want to see ourselves in a certain way. Like I had to come to grips that sometimes I can be a bit, I want to choose my word. I could be bossy, you know, um, and and sometimes I can come off as arrogant in what I believe I know. And but it's like I tell those particular people who have said that. And the reason why I had to look at some of those things is because they were coming from people that don't even know each other. I'm the common denominator. You know? So, me being the common denominator, and these people don't know each other, they just know me. I had to look at that and, like, okay, Katie, you need to check that. You need to check that. And especially if it's turning people off, right? And that's the other thing. That's the other reason why we have to um, really self-examine ourselves and evaluate ourselves, and at the core, because the things that we've been born, or the things that have been instilled in us, right, through our family, our parenting, guardian, or whatever, through our culture. A lot of those things, once we become a certain age, we really don't feel that way anymore about those things, whatever those things were. You know what I'm saying? Um, Once again, like with, I'm going to use prejudice and biasness. Okay, when I was coming up, um, I was raised with the the thought that, well, okay, white people don't like you. None of them do. Not any of them, you know. And if they could kill you right there looking at you, a lot of them would do it, if not all of them, right? But I had to step back and realize that the reason why this type of thing was said in my family was because of the root of where my family come from, right? And we're talking about Mississippi. We're talking about back in the day, when they actually were on oh geez, when they actually were, killing up all the black people and stuff, and just whenever and however they felt like it, and demolishing and raping and all this kind of stuff. And I imagine that, my grandparents must have, all types of had all type of mental issues coming on about that, because they were raised in that time, in you know in that era where these things were happening rampantly, or all the time, right around them, and in their families and stuff. And that's scary, and then you have to um, build yourself up, um, to not be afraid enough that you can go out there, to the store. You can go out there and start your business and stuff like that. You have to swallow a lot of your fear, and go on anyway. But my point is this: being raised that way, with that mind frame, for myself, when I did get into a college where I'm 1% of the black there, right? Um, at first, it was a bit mentally challenging and spiritually, because I was challenged. I was challenged there. I mean, um, I ran into some ugliness there. One guy. This was a performance class I was in, and I guess the young white guy had like this crush on me or something, right? And he didn't know, I guess, how to approach me. So instead, it was like it was like in a kiddie way. You know how the boys would sometimes, they would beat up the girls they liked, right? and so and so I guess this was his way, because he was much younger, you know. Anyway, and he called me out my name. He called me a derogatory name. I think, what did he say to me, if I can recall it? He said, big booty girl, big booty black girl, or something like that. And then I heard the N word come out of his mouth too. And I was going to let all the other stuff go until I heard the N word come out, and then oh my God, really? This is what you do? And so anyway, make a long story short, I did not meet a whole lot of non-black people there that treated me in that way, right? A lot of them were actually very kind to me, right? Um, but then also, there was this map. I remember this also. This was at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. And like I said, at the time of my going there, I was like that 1% black. And so but I met people from all over the world. And that was a great experience for me at the same time. But I remember in their office, there's this map, and this was in the enrollment office or something like that. Yeah, the administration office where people would come in, to see about getting in the school and all that kind of stuff. And I remember looking at the wall, and I wasn't the only one who saw this too. I looked at the wall, and there's this big map, but it's only got the map only had like the north side, the west side, and the east side. Didn't have nothing on the south side. And so during that time, the south side, the far south side of Chicago, was actually being turned out, unfortunately. And that's where they ended up having the name of Wild Wild Hundreds, right? Because of the gangs and the drugs and all that kind of stuff that had taken over. And that's a really sad situation with the South Side that happened there and how it went down. But anyway, it happened. And so now on that map, like I said, they didn't have the South Side on it. And it was like they were telling the people, the ones who came to that school that wasn't from the area or wasn't from this country or whatever, and they were like, don't go over to the South Side. But yet there was stuff happening on the west side, there was stuff happening on the east side, and probably not a lot of stuff happening on the north side, because up north Chicago, they're more were more elitist, if you will, people, doctors and teachers and stuff, people that had the money and stuff like that. And the areas were being monitored, and protected with the police and all this kind of stuff. So, but still, I was livid, and so were a few other the other sprinkled non-whites that were there, and we just went into the office and just made a complaint about that. Eventually, they took that map down and placed the map up there with all sides of the city. But still, there's this bias and this prejudice stuff going around, and it's like these people are educating the system. It wasn't just there that this attitude was planted, right? So they come in with their own biases and prejudices. I come in with my own biases and prejudices that I was raised with. And but through it all, I must say, though, still it was a fantastic experience. I Would I do it again? Yeah, probably so. um but the thing is that I had to really sit down and evaluate my thinking. And did I really feel this way about all, white people? Or do I feel this way about all black people? Or do I feel this way about all of humanity? And do I feel this way, I don't know, about beats? Today I love beats. When I was a child, I hated them. So, but my point is that we have to go inside of ourselves and check on things and see if the way we are thinking matches up with the world that we exist in today, right? To see how things gel and vibe. Where are we in this world today, and get focused on understanding that first, right? Because if you don't know where you are, you don't know where you are going, you don't know where you want to be. How would you, you know um other than that, you'll end up in the same situation over and over again, until you can identify you and how you want things to be, right? Um, so, how are we doing on time? How are we doing on time? Poke myself in the eye. Okay. All right. So, I really hope that this makes sense. I will be back talking more about my book and some of the things that you know you will find value in getting the book and having it in your possession. You can even share this particular book, with youth. It's really good, I think, for them. I think we shelter our youth too much, and that's a big part of the problem too. Why we shelter them and we spoil them. A lot of us as parents, and that's not doing the kid any good, right? They should be aware how to pay bills and what that means to pay bills, right? They should know that, and they should have a sense of being independent, becoming independent. They should have a sense of what it means to have your own business and the desire of your own business and stuff like that. But we tend to shelter our kids a lot in this country, and that I think holds them back from a lot of things. And it's just unfortunate that we do that. So, but if you get your hands on this book, I guarantee you, you will stop that and find a balance, right? Because we need to find that balance in our lives. So that's important. All right. So that's all I have. Let me know what you thought about what I said. If you have anything to add to it, great. Like I said, subscribe. That would be awesome. And I really look forward to doing my next video. And please visit my website sometimes and get a free consultation from with me. It's just a consultation to see where you are and where you would like to be. And I'm pretty good with that. I can help you with that, especially when it comes down to social media marketing and promotion. I love it. I have a passion for it. It's just what I do. And I love to see people succeed in life. Um, I really get a real, I don't know the word for that. I just get a real kick out of, someone calling me up or sending me an email saying, "Hey, I appreciate you so much, and you're a godsend, and and thank you." I get a kick out of that. That really makes my day. So, all right, with that, you take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.